Alright guys, here comes the third video out of my series on emergency and disaster preparedness. This one is about the bug out bag, and in general I want to talk about the bug out concept. Now I just want to note that the reasons for bugging out, which is to strap on your backpack, head out into the wilderness or wherever you're going, the reasons are few. It's a last resort that you don't generally want to take. What we have here are the essentials of life, and no matter what happens, you have the tools necessary to survive for, a short amount of time. I'll say relatively short. But this may be the first step for many people who are just getting into survival and awareness. Is to have a bag of stuff that you can grab and go, and you know that you have what it takes, at least the tools to survive. Alright, so I'm just going to go over what I have in my bug out bag. This video I'd like to go into a little bit more detail, but I'm going to try and get through it quick enough that it doesn't take too long, past 10 or 15 minutes. So we'll start with the bag itself. This is a general hiking backpack. It's got one main pouch, a couple side pouches, and I've tacked on a couple of carabiners here for attaching whatever, a water bottle. I'm going to try and go in, like I said, into detail this time of what I actually have on here. Your bug out bag may differ. You may have more or less or different things. This video is just intended to try and give you an idea of what kind of stuff you could have in a bug out bag. So, compass. This is a backup compass. I think it's a good idea to always have a backup of a compass, maybe even a couple throughout your bag. This is a more or less useless. It's just a tritium light. This will glow a green strip in pitch black. It uses radiation. It's powered by nuclear radiation or whatever. Just of note, it doesn't actually escape this tube though, so it's perfectly safe. So over here we have food. We got water, a whole pile of random miscellaneous tools and stuff that I'll go over in detail. We have medical supplies. We have random tools and such. And here we have clothing and shelter. Alright, so we'll start over in the food section here first. We got a couple of freeze-dried Mountain House meals. Each one of these is, a meal for 2 people, or, it's not a lot of food, not a lot of calories, but it's better than nothing. Just of note, when you're out in the wilderness, really the most important thing is water, but you'll want food so that you can still think without being just lethargic. Alright, so we got the freeze-dried food. This requires boiled water. Just open the bag, dump some water in, and wait a couple minutes and you're good to go. We got some chocolate. As I've mentioned before, this is good if you're trekking in the cold. Once you get back to camp, you'll want something that's going to start burning energy in your body and emitting heat so that you won't immediately freeze when you stop walking around. We got some dates here, just a pile of dates. And here we have the MSR, or Mountain Safety Research Dragonfly. This is a stove. Let's see if I can do any of this with one hand. Alright, so this thing basically flips out And there we go. Flips out into a small compact stove. This thing is powered by this fuel canister, which basically you attach a pump onto it, which I have in here somewhere. So you put this pump in the bottle, pressurize this. Right now I have basically lamp oil in here. Attach it to this and get it ready to light and let it rip. This is a basically a maintenance kit. I'm not going to really go into that too much, but any O-rings, cleaning tools, that kind of stuff, replacement jets. So the one of the main draws of this particular unit is that it can burn many different types of liquid fuel. It has two jets, which you can, I don't know if it's possible to see in there, but there's a little jet like a nozzle at the bottom there, and it has two of them. One is designed for white gas, also known as naphtha gas or Coleman camp fuel. It will also burn unleaded automobile gasoline. So it's basically a nozzle for higher volatility fuels. There's another jet that you can, you just unscrew it in there and put the other jet in. It's designed for kerosene, diesel, jet fuel, and lamp oil, which is what I have been burning recently. These are more lower volatile fuels. And that's basically what drew me to this, the MSR Dragonfly, was that you can burn so many different types of fuels. Whatever you got, you can use it to boil up water. I believe this, what is this? It's about 900 milliliters. This will burn, I believe this will boil up to around 60 liters of water. So that's pretty significant. And there's not much else. There's some, what do you call it, heat shields you can put around when you're boiling water. Alright, and speaking of water, so here we have just a 2-liter water source. You can put water in there, that's about it. This here is a Katadyn Vario. It's a water pump. Let's see if I can get my data points here. So this pump will do 2 liters a minute in fast flow mode, or about half that speed if you're using the ceramic pre-filter. Now I'm not sure how much justice I can do this here, but essentially there's 2 little pistons inside, and it just sucks water through this little nozzle here, and it comes out the bottom. You can attach a water bottle or what have you. And of course this tube is supposed to be attached. You throw this in your water source, or river, a mud puddle or whatever. And that's the interesting thing about this. You can switch it to either clean water, which means like a fast flowing river or something. You don't need to use a ceramic pre-filter, it's quicker. If you're throwing it in a mud puddle, you'll want to use the ceramic pre-filter. You just twist it and it goes to the kind of dirty mode. It's slower, but it extends the life of the main filter. The main filter, I believe, is a pleated glass fiber filter. It has a lifespan of about 1900 liters. This is, if you're talking about 3 liters a day for one person to filter, you got about 633 days of clean water. That's about 1.75 years of clean water with this this unit. Alright, so moving along, we have a random, more or less a random pile of stuff here. So this is what I kind of call my fire kit. We got one of those torches. This will use, you can put a standard plastic lighter in there as a fuel source, and it'll turn it from a regular lighter into more of a jet. So extremely hot and precise. And here we got matches. These are all, they've all been waterproofed manually. So these are strike anywhere matches in here. What I've done is had a burning candle. You just take the match, dip the end in the candle, and this will last longer. This will stay waterproof for longer than any match you could buy. You just have to peel the wax off and use it. We got a sharpening stone. You can also, I was able to start up the matches on this thing as well. Works fine. We got a magnifying glass in there, some duct tape for whatever, scissors, some crazy glue. So like I said, there is an element of randomness in these bags. So here we got aqua tabs. There's about 90 tabs here, which is equivalent to about 90 liters of water. We got a one of those little emergency blankets. We got a couple candles, a signaling mirror, some chapstick for comfort, zip ties, some Kleenex, and this is just flat duct tape patches, so you could use to patch over whatever, a hole in your jacket or something. This here is, can't really see it very well, but it's just a bottle of camp soap. In here you can, this is all-purpose soap. You can use it for washing dishes, washing your clothes, whatever you like. And this is, again, just a kind of a netted bag. We got all kinds of stuff in here. I got a spare pair of glasses, some toilet paper, sport, and what do we got? We got a harmonica, a lamp for my flashlight, we got some toothpaste, toothbrush, marker, some sort of a knife sharpener, and I believe I have a little Gerber solstice. This is just essentially a pair of scissors. It'll fold out to scissors. You got a screwdriver tip, 2 of them, Phillips and flathead, and some can openers. Kind of a little bit useless, but it's not very heavy or anything like that. Here we have, this is the backup kit. If you were, like I mentioned in the previous video, if you were ever leaving camp for whatever reason and you just want to take a little bit of something in case you got some issues out there and you can't get back to camp right away. Let's see. So we got a Gerber clutch in here. One of these little all-in-one whistle, compass. We got some matches in there, a striking surface with flint. And the rest of what's in here, not too exciting. Some candles, a warmth blanket, a rain poncho. And on the other end here, here we go. It's kind of a secondary side pouch. Another pack of aqua tabs. And a very basic medical kit. This just has some swabs, iodine patch, some kind of trauma pads. Really basic. Maybe a couple band-aids in there, I think. Alright, and we got a pair of binoculars here. Awareness is everything. And we got a excuse me, a dry bag here. This is just a small waterproof bag, similar to this one that I keep some clothes in. Alright, moving along, we got the medical kit here. We got a splint. This, as I mentioned before quickly, When you fold this into a U shape, it becomes very rigid, and of course you can use these to wrap it around your arm or leg or whatever you've broken. Also, I just keep some iodine tablets in here. IOSAT. I didn't go into too much detail before. This is basic. If there's some kind of radiation emergency where there's radioactive iodine that's been exploded into the atmosphere by whatever, a nuclear plant or something is melted down. The idea is to fill your thyroid with iodine that is not radioactive. There will be no room left for radioactive iodine to be uptaken into your thyroid, which is one of the major problems in that kind of a disaster. 10 years later you got cancer in your thyroid and that's it. So what else do we got here? This is a pouch with general medications. I need to kind of replenish this a bit. Got some Gravol, some Divol, which is good for upset stomach, indigestion, heartburn, whatever. We got some Imodium, in case you got the runs out there. This needs to be replenished. This is Benadryl. Got some Gastrolite. This could be a lifesaver. If you are sick to the point where you're puking, you got diarrhea, you can't hold liquids in, no matter how much water you drink, you can still die of basically dehydration. The reason is because you're not getting any of your electrolytes. That's basically all this is a bunch of electrolytes. It's like Gatorade. You put it in the water and it replenishes what your body needs. So if you are suffering from malaria or something that's going to give you the runs like that, make you really sick, you want Gastrolite, because water itself will not help you. Alright, this is another pack. We got some pills here. We got Advil, aspirin. This is basically like a Tylenol 3 trauma set. Just happened to not really need my prescription. We got some iodine and some finger splints here as well, in case you break your finger. And over to the medical kit. I'm not sure if I can get this out, but let's give it a try. Alright, sorry about that. So this medical kit is waterproof. This will seal it up to I think 10 or 20 meters or whatever. So this is going to be perfectly dry no matter what conditions you're going through. It's generally, we got an overall stuff that would be useful. We got some tweezers, polysporin. Gloves are good for treating somebody if they're maybe a stranger or a possible infection that you don't want to spread. We got all kinds of random tape and rolls. I believe this is for bites, like afterbite. What else do we got here? Blister Packs, in case you got a blister. I haven't really gone through this in a while. This one could be a lifesaver. This is called Quick Clot. Stops bleeding fast. This is same stuff used in the military basically. It will stop any kind of arterial bleeding, any heavy bleeding. You just stuff this in there and it will it'll stop it temporarily. We got band-aids, some other random stuff in here. Alright, so that's it for the medical kit. And wow, we are already at about 20 minutes, so I don't even know if I can upload this. I might have to split it. So here, let's see. This is general tools. If I can open this, we got some rope here as well as just some backup. This is 550 Paracord. I just want to mention, if you're getting Paracord, watch out for the ends. This is kind of cheaper stuff. The good stuff, you should be able to pull strands out. I think there's like 10 strands. This just, there's no way you could, make fishing line out of this or anything like that. So in the kit we got a flashlight. This is a Fenix LD20. Waterproof, very good flashlight. Very bright too. I can't remember the exact lumens, it's well over 100. And here we got a lock picking kit. I don't know how much detail I can go into this right now, but you pull this part out and you undo this and you'll get your if I could get them to go. Basically you got your ends that'll swing out, and then you can tighten this part back up, and with of course just one of them, whatever one you need, just pop it up. It's a little tough to do with one hand. Pop it up and tighten it down. Alright, we got a small sewing kit here, as well another Gerber clutch. Just a cheap little thing. Alright, so here we got a whistle. This is a compass. Again, I don't even know if I can. Compass. And a fire steel. This is magnesium. You basically shave the magnesium off, use this to make a spark, and it burns very hot, but for a very short duration. It's actually kind of tough to start fire with it, but we got extra batteries for the flashlight. This is basically animal spray, pepper spray. It's kind of weak. I wouldn't advise trying to use this in a self-defense situation. It might be a small advantage. It might just tick someone off. As well, here we got bear spray. Great for out in the wilderness. You feel a lot better when you got something like this on your hip, in case bears or anything come by. This is the Cold Steel Srk. It's a survival rescue knife. Let's see if we can get this out. Alright, so this is a 6-inch blade. It's 3/16 of an inch thick. It is made of AUS 8A stainless steel. It's a high carbon steel. The carbon content actually increases the strength of it. It will hold an edge much longer. It won't go dull on you. Now this, it's kind of tough, picking a knife. What do you want to do with it? I picked this because it's a generally it's an average size. It's not too long, not too short. You can use this for batoning, which is where you split logs by hammering on the end of it with something, and you got a log in the middle. I've tried it. It works for smaller stuff. It's not like a Bushmaster type knife or anything like that, but it's got a good grip on the handle, and I put a little loop around it. Now the thing about high carbon steel, you just have to watch out. It will rust easier, so what I put is petroleum jelly, just a very thin coat, and then into the sheath for storage. Alright, and this is the Sawvivor, I believe it's called. Basically you got your saw in there, your saw blade in there. I'm not going to take it out right now, but these flip out. They flip out like that. The blade goes like this, and it locks in, and you got a quick and easy saw blade. Alright, so I'm just going to quickly wrap this up here. This is more or less the clothing and shelter. This is a very cheap sleeping bag. I got it at Canadian Tire for about 10 or 15 bucks or something. I like it because it's really lightweight. This is maybe 1 or 2 pounds. In here I have clothing. spare socks, underwear, and as well a base layer. I highly recommend that you have a base layer for any kind of outdoors, hiking, camping, that kind of stuff. It helps to manage moisture in your clothing, to wick away the moisture, keep you dry, all that kind of stuff. You know, if you get the right type, and I would highly recommend you get a base layer of merino wool. It is the most comfortable, highest performance fabric you can get. And again, this is in a dry bag, so obviously it stays dry. This here is it's actually a poncho, but it doubles as a tarp. I don't know if I can really get this, if I could even find the top of it. So this is the hood. You stick your head up through there, and basically the rest of it can just drape out. It's actually a rectangular shape though in total, so you can rope it up as a small tarp. Oh, there's my extra IOSAT. This is just a small, basically like you can make a small tent out of it, or you know, basically a survival blanket, very lightweight. Alright, so that is my bug out bag. Again, I am not saying that this is what you need or that you should have more or less, but these are just ideas of some of the stuff that you can have in such a bag. And you know, I just want to say that this is a very vital component for anybody who is seriously, you know, thinking about and considering, you know, what could happen in a worst case scenario. You know, the decision to stay or go must be made with a level head, and I want to say that, you know, really think about it. If you have one of these bags, like a survival bag ready to go, do not lightly go out into the wilderness, you know, if there's some kind of a disaster, because you will be alone. You won't have community support. You won't have government support if there is, you know, such a thing. More importantly, you won't have community support. That's your neighbors, your friends, your family. You don't want to be out there in the wilderness, because that only works for short-term survival. This will get you through a disaster if you have to evacuate, but long-term survival requires community. You have to have people you can trade with and depend on, and again, this is a last resort. And as I'm going to talk about in my next video, more often than not, your best choice is to stay put, and hopefully you've made preparations where you have food and water, you know, canned food, long-term dried food storage, that kind of stuff. That's probably the best way to go. And I'd like to thank everybody who has checked out my other videos and liked or commented. I really appreciate it, and hopefully I'll come out with my next video shortly. Once again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something. Thanks a lot, and take care.